Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the TMax, or as they call me in Brazil, Chimochio, or Chim for short. So I've been here learning Portuguese for the last 2 weeks. Let's see what I've learned in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so let's start with some errors that I keep making. So I learned Spanish in Spain, so we use tú and vosotros. But in Latin America, when they speak Spanish, they use the vos and the ustedes. In Brazilian Portuguese, they also don't use the tú form or the vosotros. So I'm struggling to make these translations with the conjugation specifically because I'm so used to saying the tú form of stuff. And then of course, pronunciation of words I've mentioned in the last videos. Sim means yes, and what looks like seem would be without, but it's actually pronounced same. So the rules of the language start with the sounds, and the R at the beginning of a word and a double R in the middle of the word have an H sound basically. And they call this the R forte, the strong R. And then they call the R fraco, or the weak R, the actual R sound. So it seems that R in every language is ridiculous. I did a video a few years ago when I was learning Mandarin, comparing the Chinese R to the Spanish, English, and French R. And now Portuguese is like, yeah, let's throw in a whole new different kind of R. So thanks, Portuguese. So I learned in my Portuguese class the letters K, W, and Y were not even officially part of the Brazilian Portuguese alphabet until 2014. So any word that has any of these letters is probably imported from another language. The K sound, the k, whenever you have Q-U-A or Q-U-O, it's like a K-W sound, a qu. And then whenever you have Q-U-E or Q-U-I, it's a K sound, k. And in Spanish, they like drill you, they hammer you. After ear, you have to say ah. After the verb to go, you have to go to. And in Portuguese is not like that, unless you're going to a location. So it's no ear, ah. It's ear, then whatever the verb is after that. Ear, what are you gonna do? And then in addition to that, you can't say ear. So I can't say I'm going to go. You just say I'm going, and that means I'm going to go. And you also can't say I'm going to come. You have to say I come. And so one thing that foreign language learners love learning are reflexive verbs. Yeah. No, they suck. And Portuguese, they're like, you know what? Since reflexive verbs are so hard, we're going to make our own version of this. And so it's actually the only language that I've learned so far that has a hyphenate reflexive verbs. And it seems that people don't use reflexive verbs so often in speech. For example, the verb lembrarse, which means to remember, everybody here just says lembro. They don't have to say me lembro or mi lembro. It's just, they just forget the reflexive part. So yeah, rules versus spoken language. And so in Spanish, you would say tampoco. And in English, you would say me either or me neither. And in Portuguese, you don't have that. You just say, yeah, me also not, também não, or nem eu, like not me. Not even I. Okay, so enough of the boring stuff. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Literally translated words, right? So pimenta do reino literally means pepper of the kingdom, and this is black pepper. Guarda-chuva literally means to keep the rain, and this is an umbrella. Fazer a barba. This is to do or to make a beard, but it actually means to shave. Patinho, duck. Moído, ground. Patinho moído, ground beef. It's like a part of the beef, I think the shoulder or something, but yeah, it has nothing to do with the duck. There's a part of the cow that is duck meat in Portuguese. And some just random observations about the language. For example, I'm learning the days of the week. It starts with domingo, which is Sunday. That makes sense. Every other language is similar. And then the first day of the work week is segunda-feira. And so the week starts with the second market or second fair, which, okay, I get maybe, before Sunday was the first fair day, but obviously they changed it to domingo from first fair day. So why couldn't they change the rest of the days of the week? I don't know. So it's just super confusing when you're like, oh, terça-feira, third fair. And you're like, oh, third day of the week is Wednesday. It's like, no, it's definitely Tuesday. Oh, okay. And so one thing I like doing is comparing all the languages I speak and seeing which ones are different, or seeing if they're all different or all the same. And one word that I came across that Portuguese, the only one that's different is the word for end. French is fin, and Spanish is fin, and Italian is fine, and in Portuguese is fim. So just the spelling is what's different, because the actual pronunciation of the M and the N at the end of words is exactly the same. It's weird. I can't really quite pinpoint it if it's an M sound or an N sound or just like a mix of the both, but any word that ends with either of those letters is pronounced the same way. And so a word that I came across where all of the languages are different is the word watermelon. In Portuguese, it's melancia. In Spanish, sandia. French, pastèque. And Italian, anguria. Mandarin, it's xigua. Yeah, I'm still working to maintain my Mandarin. It's tough. Okay, so let's look at some interesting words and expressions and phrases that I've learned. Just, random things that you pick up, right? Hopefully the vocabulary that you can use to impress your friends. So the word tanto faz. This means like whatever, but like in a neutral way. So it's like, hey, what movie you guys want to see? You can say tanto faz. That means like whatever. I made the mistake of saying no me importa, which is Spanish, which means the same thing, like, oh, whatever, doesn't matter. And in Portuguese, or at least in Brazil, it's very strong. It means like, you don't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It has no meaning in my life. And whatever you're saying is just doesn't matter. So it's way stronger. So if you're a Spanish speaker going to Portuguese and you happen to speak English and you're watching this video, don't use that expression. Pejicana. So I guess in every country you go to, you're going to learn the drinking culture. And this is the word for alcoholic. And I mentioned in another video where they take English words and they just kind of like add an E to it, and that makes it Portuguese. I think drinky or jetilagi. And so this is really funny because I heard something. We were walking on the street and we heard some music playing, and I asked somebody, I was like, hey, do you know who this is? And they're like, oh yeah, Hedgie Hoji. And I was like, no, this is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And they're like, yeah, Hedgie Hoji. Yeah, because that R, like we mentioned at the beginning of a word, is a h sound, and they add that E, and the T at the end of the word is a ch sound, so hedgie hoji. Yeah, I love hedgie hoji. And so whenever it's getting warmer or cooler during the day, instead of just saying it's cooling off or it's warming up, it's actually the sun that's esfriando or esquintando. So they have this word gente, and so literally means people, but they use this like when they're talking to people. So you can say you guys, or if you add in front of it, then it means us. And they use it as like a pronoun. So instead of saying we go, they can say a gente go, and you conjugate it as though it were a third person instead of the first person plural. And you'll hear gente, gente, gente. So many pronunciations here. I'm still trying to figure out which one I like best, which one I'm gonna go with. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. It's fun to say, right? Say it with me. No, 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 no. And it means in the ninth grandfather. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything really in English, but it's fun that you can put those words together for a sentence that doesn't make sense, but it's fun to say. So sometimes you have a word that can mean opposites. There's a word for it. I can't think what it's called. If you know, write the name of this word in the comments below. Ooh, do it in English and in Portuguese if you know. In Portuguese, they have this word tirar, and this can be to like send out or to bring back. So for example, alumnos tiran dúvidas. So the students ask the teacher, but then later, alumnos tiram notas. So the students receive their grades. Same verb, but opposite direction of movement. So another fun expression I learned is if you're working on something and you just can't resolve it, like a police case, it's just unresolved. The expression is acabar en pizza. So basically you finish in pizza. If you can't resolve something, just go eat some pizza in Portuguese. And if somebody is ever traveling in the mayonnaise or viajar na maionesa, this means that they are crazy. And we always have these fun words to describe people who are wealthy and kind of like show off their wealth or kind of like feel like they're better than other people. In English, we'd say posh or uppity. And in Spanish, they say pijo. And in Portuguese, I've learned is frescura. And so again, with these things where the opposite can mean the same thing, estar liso or estar duro, so to be smooth or to be hard, both mean to be broke. So I guess hard and smooth aren't technically opposites. Another expression, if you're going to go get something to eat, you can filar a boya. So it just means to go get something to eat. And filar means to line up, and a boya is, I don't know, so like lining up some boyas. Another fun thing is when one language has the name of a country associated with an item, but in that country it's not anything like that. French fries, for example, in Belgium and France are just fries. Actually, everywhere they're just fries. Only French fries in the US. So this is a picture of some delicious Brazil nuts, but here in Brazil they're called castanha do Pará. because Pará is a state of Brazil where these nuts are mostly grown, and this is why they're called Brazil nuts, but not here. And just like you would never say any sparkling wine is champagne, it has to be specifically from the Champagne region. Cognac is a brandy that has to be from the Cognac region of France, but here in Brazil, the word for brandy is cognac, so they just call all brandies cognac. Don't tell the French. Okay, so now our favorite part, false friends, false cognates, the things that we love to hate because they're funny and memorable, but they suck because you keep confusing them for something else. I mentioned earlier there's different pronunciations. If you pronounce push, which could be pouché or pushy, or just push, it sounds like push, but it actually means to pull. It's the exact opposite. If you want to say push, it's empujar. And so this also for Portuguese speakers who go to English-speaking countries and they see push, they're like, oh, and the door is not working. Another false cognate that if you hear it, it sounds different, but if you read it, it looks like this. But this is not outro, like for the end of a song or a movie or something. This is actually outro, which means another or other. If you want to say outro in Portuguese, it's encerramento. And so again, like when people take liberties with the language on the streets here, for the word team, they'd say time. And the way it's spelled looks like time, and the way it's pronounced sounds like Timmy, and it's neither of those things. It's a team. It's actually a team this time. If you want to express time, you have to say tempo or hora. So I remember Austin Powers had this great joke about not recognizing somebody's fez, which is a hat found in Arab countries, but the way he said it tried to make it sound like face. But in Portuguese, if you read F-E-Z, it literally is face. Is how you would pronounce it. And the hat is also spelled F-E-Z, and they pronounce it fez. Yeah, just cut to the Austin Powers joke.
I don't recall your name, but your fez is familiar.
Again, with the pronunciation, I'm hearing lots of different pronunciations for the same words. Nos can also be noise, depending upon where you're from. When I'm hearing noise, I'm like, oh, it's noise. And they use it like that, like an expression like noise. It literally means we. So let's look at some that just sound like they're something different. So if you read this, yeah, it makes perfect sense. But if you hear it, it's actually La China. And I keep hearing this and I'm like, well, what about China? And it's not, it's Latina. Actually, anytime I'm hearing any word in Portuguese that ends with T-I-N-A, I'm hearing China. And another one is esqueci. And I'm like, oh, it is. It is that. It is this. Esqueci actually means I forgot in the first person point of view. Mudar. It can be to move, but it doesn't mean to move houses. It actually means to change something. So uma mudança is not moving, or like moving from house to house. It's a change. Salto alto is not high jump, because that's what it is in Spanish. It is high heels. Conozco. I know, right? That's what I thought it meant. I thought it meant I know in Spanish. But it actually means with us. So if you want to go with us, do you want to go conozco? Super confusing. And so whenever I hear somebody talking about os animais, I'm thinking, oh, like, do you guys want to go? Are you guys interested? Are you excited about doing it? And it actually means the animals. And so the word costas, when I hear it in Spanish, I'm like, oh yeah, the coast or the edges or something. In Portuguese, it means your back. Your back is plural for some reason. And it actually can mean coast, but normally they use litorais. And so this next one's like a combination of English, Spanish thinking, estar alto. So to be tall is what it would mean in Spanish, but as a native English speaker, I would think, oh, to be high. If this is slang, it's probably estar alto is to be high. But in Portuguese, it actually means to be tipsy. Not drunk, not high, tipsy. And if somebody has trago, I thought that'd be a shot. One inhalation of smoke is trago. And if you go to the store to buy some salsa, you're not going to be buying sauce, which in Spanish actually is any kind of sauce, and in the US is going to be one specific kind of sauce. Salsa is actually parsley. And there's like salsón, which is like a big salsa, and some other spice, or it's something else that's also not salsa. Yeah. I think it's a different spice. Okay, so in 2 weeks, that's, I'm learning a lot, right? I'm like a sponge just absorbing Portuguese. And so hopefully in the next couple of weeks here, I'll be able to put out a video where I'm actually speaking Portuguese, so you can see like where I'm actually at, because Right now, it'd probably just be like 5 or 6 sentences, and the video would be really short. Maybe I'll do a YouTube short, huh? Are you guys liking the shorts? If you're watching the shorts, leave a comment below. Tell me, make more shorts. If you're not watching them, leave a comment below and say, I'm not watching these shorts, but I like the longer videos, because you're awesome when you do these long videos, and we love you and everything about you, and good luck in Brazil. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, you're so kind. I hope to see you in the next video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, share, subscribe, and comment, and also to like and share and comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Was that bus really loud? Am I gonna have to edit that out later? Let's hope not. This is what happens when you film in a hostel. I mean, there's like public areas and just, yeah, you're at the mercy of, yeah, public spaces. Boa noite. One down. So now we're just waiting for Bruno to do something. And there's Bruno ruining the shot again. Okay, wonderful. No, it's okay. Noise.